Tier 1 Delivery of Instruction Steps Framework by Dr. Deborah Glaser. Research makes it very clear that small group instruction is critical in successful instruction, but very little guidance is given to help teachers understand how to structure small groups. Dr. Deborah Glaser developed a framework for small group instruction planning to help teachers be more efficient in planning and implementation. This structure allows the teacher to plug in lesson parts so that the teacher can be systematic and explicit. Remember, the framework is just as it implies. It is up to you to insert content that is responsible to your students' needs and plan your instruction for each part of the lesson in the framework. The word steps will help you remember each process in the framework. Throughout the literacy block and through this framework, a teacher will rely on a model of learning known as a gradual release of responsibility, or the familiar I do, we do, you do routine. The teacher first models the language concept, then provides immediate feedback as the task is completed together. And finally, the teacher is watching for evidence that the student is able to independently complete the task before moving on to the next skill. A teacher will not allow a student to struggle or continue to make errors without offering supportive feedback, and multiple opportunities to try again. From the student side of the experience, initially they are focused on listening and following the explanation of the skill. The student gets the opportunity to practice. Will they be accurate? Get it right? Do they have questions? And finally, students will have the chance to show that they can not only complete the skill once, but twice, and then on demand. A trusting relationship is developed between teachers and student during this lively back and forth interaction, where each knows that the other is trying. Each will do their best to meet expectations, and a student knows their teacher will support them until they are successful. The first step in Dr. Glaser's framework is S, set up for instruction. The warm up allows you to wake up the brain for learning, giving students motivation to learn. This step provides active involvement as a means for engagement to learning. It is important that this section of the lesson is familiar and allows success with words and materials that have been learned in earlier lessons. Step 2 is teach. The teacher is providing explicit instruction of new skills. It requires modeling, showing, and telling. The key phrases that are helpful this time are today we will learn, watch me, listen, and my turn. This section is a short 3-minute explicit direction. Step 3 is engage. This section is also 3 to 5 minutes of the lesson where you are supporting the student as they engage in a brief practice. You will know through this interaction if the student needs more instruction. Step 4 is P, practice. This section is the majority of the framework, 15 to 20 minutes, where students put into practice the new skill with multiple attempts. The student voice is the most dominant voice, but the teacher voice is important for guidance, corrective feedback, additional instruction as needed, and praise. The second S is the last step of the framework, show you know. This is an important step to determine if the skill acquired is committed to mastery. An important part of this step is the data that is recorded and used for future guidance. It is important to remember that the STEPS framework takes time and practice. As you engage in the process, you will grow and develop techniques most effective for small group instruction, giving more tailored feedback and opportunity to monitor. It also affords the student additional practice opportunities and increases with the content. Following this video, you will have access to the STEPS planning form and additional website resources to assist you in the planning process. Take time to plan a lesson and reflect on the planning process in the discussion post.